All right, episode number 5 of our OOTP 18 series with the Miami Marlins. In the last episode, we went past the trade deadline and we finished up the season. We finished, 63 and 99, last place in the NL East. Now, before we get any further, in this episode obviously will be the offseason. As you can see, the offseason starts tomorrow, November 3rd. Just want to go through the playoffs and show you guys what happened. So in the wild card series, the Red Sox defeated the Astros in their wild card game, and the Arizona Diamondbacks, surprisingly, not to mention the fact that they even made it this far, they won their wild card game against the St. Louis Cardinals. So the D-backs and the Red Sox, they made it to the divisional series. And in the ALDS, the Red Sox defeated the Indians 3-2, and the Yankees defeated the Rangers 3-2. And in the NL, our friend Ichiro Suzuki and his Los Angeles Dodgers won their NLDS series 3-1 over the D-backs. And the Mets defeated the reigning World Series champions, the Chicago Cubs, 3-2. Steven Matz, your series MVP, seems like he got 2 wins in that series, defeated John Lester both times. So now moving on to the LCSs. In the ALCS, the Yankees defeated the Red Sox 4-1. And in the National League, the Mets defeated our friend Ichiro 4-2. But you remember, we actually traded Derek Dietrich to the New York Mets. So at least one of our former players made it to the World Series this year. Unfortunately, it was not Ichiro, but at least someone made it. So in the World Series, the Subway Series, the Mets won the World Series 4-2. Your series MVP, fittingly, was David Wright, the 34-year-old third baseman for the Mets. So here in 2017, the Mets won the World Series over the Yankees. Subway Series here in the first year of our simulation. So having said that, now we're going to move to the offseason. I did want to say that I checked, and Shohei Ohtani, the guy from Japan, the guy you guys might have heard of him, he can not only pitch really well, but he can actually hit the ball well too. He's a dual threat. The season's over. Your season score this year is 124. This is a very poor score. You can do better. All right, so before it used to be on a scale of, I think, 0 to 100, or it might have been over 100. So this year it looks like it changed a little bit, because unless it's just like a glitch or something, because 124 being a poor score, so I don't know what like a high score is this year. So anyway, Ohtani was not posted, unfortunately, but maybe he'll be posted. I might end up taking a look at him. I don't know. If we're still bad by the time he's posted, I'm not going to try to sign him because it won't make much sense. And you see there, Ichiro Suzuki, he did end up retiring, so he could not finish his career with a ring, so that's a shame. But you see, who else? So Bartolo retired. That's a sad day. He did not have a very good year. He only pitched 85 innings. So, let's go to our mail. And, okay, so Wei Chen executed his contract option year. He will remain a member of our organization and he hopes to be a part of many future championship teams. I doubt that's going to happen, my man. I'm sorry about that. You really should have opted out if that's what you're concerned about. The next year on the contract of Alexi Amarista is a team option year for $2.5 million. So how did he do with us exactly after we got him? So he actually didn't do too bad with us. He slashed 286, 333, 379. He had a few home runs, 2 stolen bases, 26 strikeouts, 17 walks. He started 59 games for us. I would not be opposed to keeping him, honestly, especially at $2.5 million. I think that would be a good sign, really good utility player. You can see he can play, he can play second base, third base, shortstop, left field, center field, and right field. Obviously, he can play second and short better than the other 4 positions, but regardless, I think I'm going to, get this guy back. If nothing else, he'll be a good utility player for us, and those are always needed. So we are going to execute that option. So now Amarista is part of our team for another year. So, message from Jeffrey Loria, review of our season goals. This should be good. So he's not happy with how the season went at all. Are you? I guess he's implying that I myself am happy about how the season went. I don't know. I hope not. It is time to get to work and really start planning for how next year will be different. Well, I mean, if I could spend like a little more money, we might, might be better. But unfortunately, because of the owner, I can't really do that. I'm sorry, but I don't I really don't see the upgrade I asked you for at first base. Once again, didn't really have any money. I'd appreciate a better effort next time I ask things of you. I gave you a goal in 2017 of making the playoffs in a few seasons. My deadline is not up. I only gave you the task last year and didn't expect immediate results. However, I'm not sure. I feel too confident right now. Okay, whatever. So this year, really getting roasted by our owner here. So this year, 2018, he wants us to not suck completely. So that's good. Like I like that. I think we can not suck completely. Upgrade at third base for sure. We definitely need a third baseman now since we traded Dietrich. Improve your team on base average. That's definitely something I'd like to do. And reach the playoffs within the next 5 seasons. So, okay, new budget. You will have $104 million available for total team expensive. Given your current spending on staff and other costs, a team payroll of around $85 million. Okay. That's not good. So we lost our team trainer, so we need a new team trainer. The offseason begins. So let's see. Do we have any arbitration guys? Yes, we do. We have a lot of them. So I'm not going to keep most of these guys. Who am I not going to keep on this list? I don't want to keep Kohler. He can go away. I'm not going to keep Locke. I'm not going to keep Straley. I'm going to let Ramos walk. He's going to be too expensive for us. Definitely keeping Wheeler. Definitely keeping Real Muto. I think I'm going to keep all... Well, actually, I'm going to get rid of Tyler Moore. He doesn't really have a spot here. I'll keep... I don't know. Should I... I'm going to let Rojas go too. It's not... Well, I mean, he's good depth, I think. So I think I'll keep... Because he's not going to want a lot of money. So I think I'll keep him. Brandon Barnes I'll keep. He's a solid utility... Or not utility. He's a solid depth outfielder. And Marcell Ozuna, that's going to be interesting. AJ Ellis, he's a free agent, so obviously I'm not going to submit him a QO. And minor league free agents, are there anyone here that I want to keep? Maybe. I mean, if some of these guys accept like minor league offers, like I'll give you like a minor league extension. Actually, I'll give a lot of these guys minor league extensions just to make sure we have that depth. Let's see, anybody? I'll keep Cunniff. Sure, why not? All right, I think I'm going to cut out here because I don't want this, I don't want to be at the screen for too long just deciding whether or not I'm going to keep guys. So I'm going to make some offers to some of my arbitration guys and some of these minor league guys too. So I'll come back when I get some news regarding all of that. All right, so I'm back. I'm not going to try to sign Brett Lawrie, by the way, but I realized that I've encountered kind of a problem with this team. So hypothetically, if I was to sign Mr. Lawrie to a $5.1 million contract, you see I have negative $58 million left for free agents if we sign Lawrie. So that means we are way, way over budget. And you see, I can't even do arbitration because when I try to offer Wheeler, offer extension, if I try to offer him $1.25 million and I ask for his response, I don't have enough money available. My projected payroll exceeds my budget by $43 million. So if we take a look, what do I want to go to? Salaries. I definitely need to cut some salary here for sure because I don't have the money to do anything, and I really don't have the money. I don't have the money to sign Ozuna. I don't have the money to sign Wheeler. I don't have the money to sign any free agents to replace them. And my minor league system isn't very good, so I'm not just going to, call up guys from AAA just to fill out the roster next year and lose over 100 games. I'm really not trying to do that. So I mentioned that I would not be against trading Giancarlo Stanton. I think that's something that I really have to look into at this point because he's, I think I might try to trade Volquez and Chen and maybe Gordon as well because we need to cut salary. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we need to cut a ton of payroll, and I'm not really sure how I'm going to do that. Now, you see, Hechavarria's contract, that was up after this year, so we had to retain $4.3 million of it, but after this year, it's off the books. Now, Prado we have to pay for the next 2 years, but that's fine. We only retained 40%, so that's not terrible. But yeah, I really have to look into trading guys like Stanton. Unfortunately, it wasn't really something I wanted to do, but I have to look into trading him. I have to look into trading D. Gordon. I'm not keeping Ramos, so that's not really a big deal. I'm not keeping Kohler, so that's not really a big deal. But trading Gordon, especially because now you see we get to 2020, he's going to be making $13 million a year. Wei-Yin Chen's this is an awful contract. He's going to be making $20 million a year starting in 2019. Volquez, we only have him for one more year, but still I need to try to trade him because we really need to cut space. So I'm going to try to find suitable offers for all of these players. So when I find some offers, I will be back, and as I did at the deadline, I'll try to explain my thought process and my mindset with these trades. Okay, so that took way longer than I thought it was going to, but I finally made some trades. I freed up a lot of space, so now I have money to not only sign free agents but give extensions as well. So it's time to go through the trades. So the first one I made, well, not the first one, but the first one I'll talk about since it just popped up. I traded Edinson Volquez and a low-level minor league catcher that was never going to amount to anything to the Dodgers for Scott Kazmir and a pitching prospect. So the Dodgers will also retain a portion of Kazmir's remaining contract. So basically, this has freed up a little bit of cap space. If we take a look at the salaries, Kazmir's going to make $16 million this year, but Los Angeles is going to retain 25%. So it ended up being that Kazmir was cheaper than Volquez, and he's also a little younger, so I decided to just get that, free up a little bit of cap space, or I say cap space, a little bit of room on the payroll. That way we'd have money to sign, a couple free agents, and that was that trade. Now, the another one I made was with the Yankees, so I decided to trade D. Gordon and a couple of lower level prospects to the Yankees for just $1,000 in cash, so cash consideration. So basically this was just dumping D. Gordon's contract, which is way harder than I thought it was going to be. He's a solid player, but his contract was way harder to dump than I thought it was. And it's backloaded, so he's going to make $10.5 million next year, $13 million in 2019, $13.5 in 2020, and potentially $14 million in 2021. And I guess as a 29-year-old, teams just don't want to take that risk, even though he's a solid player. I mean, maybe not defensively, but obviously he has the speed. He can hit for contact. He can avoid strikeouts. But it was just really, really difficult to find a trade partner for him. And honestly, the $1,000, the cash considerations, that was the best I could get. I tried multiple trade scenarios, where I try to get, just the lowest level prospects, and it never worked. I tried my best, and nothing worked. So I decided to just settle for the cash considerations, and that was that. Now, in the middle of all this, it is award season, so the Gold Gloves got named. And you see, we actually have one. We have Christian Yelich, so he won a Gold Glove. The rest of the National League, Kenta Maeda, Austin Hedges of the Padres, Anthony Rizzo, Ozzie Albies, Nolan Arenado, Dansby Swanson, Billy Hamilton, and Jason Hayward. And in the AL, there was Drew Pomeranz, Russell Martin, Eric Hosmer, Ian Kinsler, Kyle Seager, Jose Iglesias, Alex Gordon, Kevin Kiermaier, and Max Kepler. So those were the Gold Gloves Lauren League. Now going to the third trade that I made, I sent Wei-Yin Chen, AJ Ramos, and Jose Reyna, and a lower-level minor league pitcher Hunter Atkins to the Twins for Nick Burdi and cash consideration. So this really freed up some budget space. If you take a look at Chen's contract, he's going to make $10 million next year, but that skyrockets to $20 million in 2019 and $22 million in 2020. And that player option in 2021, which is $16 million, there's no reason he's going to not, there's no reason he won't take that. So that's more money. So I decided to trade him away to the Twins. They really needed starting pitchers badly. They didn't really have anyone. So Tommy Malone was their third best starting pitcher. So I decided to trade Chen to the Twins for cash considerations and Nick Burdi. I don't know if I just said Zach Burdi, but Nick Burdi. This isn't really something I normally look for in relief pitchers, but this was the best guy that I could get. You see his personality. He never shows any lack of effort. He's intelligent on and off the field. He gets along with everyone. The changeup seems like it's never going to be a plus pitch for him. The control is really an issue, but the velocity is intriguing. And the reason I trade for this, it seems like this guy might just need a change of scenery. He's been in Double-A for the past 3 seasons, 2015, 2016, and 2017. So, maybe a change of scenery will do him some good. Also, you see there, his expectation is playing in the majors, and I guess the Twins, they just did not want to do that for him. They didn't want to help him out. So I decided to, take a chance on Birdie, and hopefully it works out and we have a bullpen arm. And finally, the big trade, and I don't know why, it always seems like all my big trades are with the Blue Jays in any OOTP series that I do, but the big trade was with the Blue Jays. It definitely, it definitely hurt to do, but at the same time, it definitely helped us replenish our farm system. So you see here, we traded JT Realmuto, Giancarlo Stanton, Adam Conley, Kyle Barraclough, and Christian Yelich to Toronto. And we got catcher Reese McGuire, 22 years old, 18-year-old minor league third baseman Vlad Guerrero Jr., 22-year-old minor league right-handed pitcher Sean Reed Foley, 25-year-old minor league outfielder Dwight Smith Jr., and 22-year-old first baseman Rowdy Tellez. So it definitely, I tried so many different combinations. It took me a very, very long time to find a suitable offer for Stan. Obviously, the contract is such an albatross, especially with his injury concerns. It just, and with the settings I have it on, very hard and heavily favored prospects, that makes it even more difficult than it otherwise would be. And so I ended up having to add in Real Muto, which kind of sucked, right? He's a very good catcher. He's only 26 years old, very, very good defensively. So that kind of hurt. And, better yet, you take a look at Real Muto. He still has 3 more years of team control. He's only making $562,000 in 2017. I don't know what he's going to make in 2018, but, his arbitration estimate was only $1.7 million. That's beyond amazing for a catcher like Real Muto. So it really hurt to get rid of him. Stanton, I've gone through what that is, with the injury concerns, that huge contract. Now, he can opt out in 2020, but that huge contract, that only gets worse as time goes on. We retained 5% of it to make the trade go through, but it was tough to get rid of him, right? Like, in real life, one of the reasons that the Marlins were kind of hesitant on trading him is because he kind of became a leader in the clubhouse. Like, he's going to be a leader, and now he's the face of that franchise, especially with the death of Jose Fernandez. So, it was definitely tough to trade him, but at the same time, that contract, we really needed to get out of it, considering our budget this year. Our player payroll is only about $80 million, so that contract, we just couldn't have that on the team anymore. I mean, we were like $50 million over. So we had to do something drastic, and unfortunately that meant trading the face of our franchise in Giancarlo, which was, it was definitely tough. Now, looking at the other piece that I really try not to have to include Yelich in this. He's just such a good young player, 25 years old, incredible defensively, he has some speed to him. He signed to such a team-friendly contract. He only made $3.5 million this year. And for a player of his caliber, $14 million, that's, especially in 2021, it was definitely tough. As I mentioned, only 25 years old. He had a great season last year. He slashed 284, 345, 433, 17 homers, 89 RBIs. He stole 17 bases, struck out 159 times, walked 58 in 690 plate appearances. He was arguably our most consistent offensive threat all year. You see, he appeared in 157 out of a possible 162 games, but it's what I needed to include to get the deal done. I tried so many other combinations where I would just try to keep Yelich, but it just didn't work out, unfortunately. I was fine giving up Conley. He developed nicely with us, but he's gonna, and he had 4 years of team control, but it's just, you got to do things sometimes that are like, maybe a little drastic now, but in the future they'll pay off. And by the time this team is ready to compete again, Conley's going to be at least in his early 30s, if not later. So it doesn't make sense to keep him on the roster when we can, use him as a trade chip in replenishing the farm system. And also Barraclough, as I mentioned, if it didn't work out in Miami, I would love to trade him, but it did work out in Miami. He was our best relief pitcher last year. He had 11 saves. He pitched to a 2.56 ERA in 68 games, 81 innings pitched, struck out 125. He walked 62. So, the control rating, that's, a little iffy. But it's, 169 ERA plus. It's, obvious, like, relievers in OOTP, they're a dime a dozen. You can just find great ones, but it's still tough when you have to trade one of them, especially when they're so successful. And that was that. But we got Reese McGuire. It seems like he could be a really solid catching prospect for us. OSA likes him a lot more than our head scout, but it seems like he could be our next catcher of the future if everything goes according to plan. And you'll see, by the way, that all these guys are in the Dominican Rookie League. I'm going to move them myself when the time comes. So next April, I'll move them to the levels that I think they should be at. But, they definitely won't be at the Dominican Rookie League. Don't worry about that. So we got Reese McGuire, 22 years old. We got 22-year-old minor league right-handed pitcher Sean Reed Foley. It seems like this guy could become one of the top pitchers on our team in a couple years, or in a few years, I should say. If everything goes according to plan. You hear me say that a lot. I keep saying if everything goes according to plan. Like if these guys develop the way that they should develop, this could really be a good trade for us down the line. Right now, right? Like it's going to be rough. Like next year, 2018, it's going to be a rough season. But down the line, if these guys develop the way they're supposed to, this trade should pay major dividends. The other big piece to this trade, well, one of the other big pieces was Rowdy Tellez. And he's pretty much Major League ready. See, I have him in AAA right now, but he's pretty much Major League ready. He's only have 33 days of Major League service, so that's good. So we have a lot of team control for him. Last year in his first taste of the big leagues, he didn't do too well. He only hit 202 with a 258 OBP, albeit with 5 home runs and 15 RBIs. This guy's definitely going to be our first baseman of the future for at least the next decade, hopefully. And, hopefully longer than that. That would be awesome. Dwight Smith Jr., he's another guy that's Major League ready. See, he's pretty much topped out at what he's going to get. And we take a look at the, OSA doesn't really like him that much. Our head scout, though, loves him. You can see a 4.5-star player. He can hit it. He can hit for contact. He's got solid power. He's got a good eye. He can avoid strikeouts. He can steal bases. He's solid in the field. So I think this was one of the guys I really wanted to get in the deal. Now he is 25 years old, but he has no Major League service time, so we'll have him for at least the next 6 years, hopefully. As long as, no injuries, or as long as we don't have another budget as low as this one was this year. So that was that. And now the huge piece that was included in this deal was Vladimir Guerrero Jr., just 18 years of age. And he could really become one of the best hitters in baseball in several years when he gets the call. You see, he's good defensively. He has a little bit of speed to him, right? He can steal. He can run the bases. Potentially could hit for high averages. He's got gap power, very high home run numbers. Avoid strikeouts. It's a little low. So he's probably going to end up striking out a lot during his time. But, if he can offset that by other contributions at the plate, we can definitely overlook that. So that was the big trade that I had to make. And it's, as I mentioned, it was rough, right? Like I did not envision having to get rid of Yelich and Real Muto. I kind of thought I would have to get rid of someone like a Conley or a Barraclough to sweeten the deal, but I did not envision having to trade Yelich and Real Muto this offseason. But as I mentioned, hopefully when the time comes, this trade will prove to be a good one. If we took a look at minor league system rankings, we were very low. We were in the mid-20s before that trade, and now we're up to 10th. So we have the 10th best farm system in the major leagues with Braxton Garrett leading the way. Now Vlad Guerrero Jr., Sean Reed Foley, and Edward Cabrera. So hopefully you guys don't hate me for those trades. As I mentioned, I keep saying it was definitely tough to do those trades, but hopefully you guys don't hate me for it. Just let me know what you think of them down in the comments. But having said that, now we are just going to simulate ahead to the start of free agency and see who we can sign to improve the team. All right, so before we move on, I just want to go through the rest of the awards. So in the AL, the top reliever was Aroldis Chapman, followed by Andrew Miller and Zach Britton. In the NL, it was Kenley Jansen, followed by Chaz Rowe of the Braves and Ryan Butcher of the Padres. Silver Sluggers in the AL, Jonathan Lucroy, Edwin Encarnacion, Brian Dozier, with 40 home runs again. Wow. Kyle Seager, Francisco Lindor, Matt Holliday, Mike Trout, Nomar Mazara. Just exceptional season for Mr. Mazara and Michael Brantley. And in the NL, Zach Greinke won it as a pitcher. Buster Posey, Freddie Freeman, Ben Zobrist, Justin Turner, Corey Seager, Starling Marte, Jock Peterson, and Bryce Harper. Now looking at Rookie of the Year, Andrew Benintendi was the Rookie of the Year in the AL, followed by Aaron Judge and Yulieski Gurriel of the Astros. And in the NL, Josh Bell of the Pittsburgh Pirates won Rookie of the Year, followed by Dansby Swanson and Jeimer Candelario of the Cubs. Manager of the Year in the AL was Joe Girardi, and in the NL, it was Terry Collins. So both of the managers who made the World Series won Manager of the Year. AL Cy Young, Aroldis Chapman, so reliever, won Cy Young this year, and it was Aroldis Chapman. 45 saves and 48 save opportunities. He pitched to a 0.45 ERA in 71 games. Andrew Miller finished second. Chris Sale finished third. So two relievers finished ahead of a starter in Chris Sale, who had a solid season for sure. And in the NL, the Cy Young, no surprise, Clayton Kershaw, followed by Steven Match, and Gio Gonzalez seems to have had a renaissance season. He finished third in Cy Young Award voting. And for MVP, finally, Mike Trout won in the American League, followed by Francisco Lindor and Edwin Encarnacion. And in the NL, Clayton Kershaw won an MVP award, his second MVP award. Of course, he won it back in 2014. And he was followed by Corey Seager and Jock Peterson. So 3 Los Angeles Dodgers finished in the top 3 in NL MVP voting. So those are your awards. Let me know what you think of them in the comments. Let me know if you're surprised by any of them or if you agree with them. So with that said, let's keep going forward. All right, so I just actually started editing the video, and I didn't realize how long this video actually was. So I was recording for 2+ hours. According to my OBS, but the video, I think it's starting to reach like 25 minutes or so, so I'm actually going to end it here because I don't want this to become too long. I know last year I had like really, really long videos that were like 40, 50 minutes long at times, so I'm going to end the video here. So the offseason is going to be split into 2 parts at this point. So the next part, I will actually sign the free agents, get the lineup and rotation all sorted out, get through spring training in the next episode, and then go from there. But I'm going to end the episode here, so wanted to thank you all for watching. Now, tomorrow is Sunday. I'm not sure if a video will be out tomorrow. If you recall in episode number 1, I had mentioned that I'm not sure if I'm going to upload on Sundays. That's when I typically work, and I do have to work tomorrow. So if I can find time, for sure, I will definitely try to get the video uploaded. But if not, don't worry. There's a valid reason for it, and we will be back on Monday with part 2 of the offseason. So just that little FYI, there might not be a video tomorrow. There might be, but there also might not. So don't be surprised. We'll just come back on Monday and resume where we left off. So once again, thank you for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you next time.